Hey, we'll move through some soft introductions here between jams because we are getting ready for game two. Game two of the day. This is going to be the Rebels, Rockin City Rebels versus Denver. Kind of a cold start on this. We kind of dropped the ball here on getting the game rolling with introductions. Both of these teams, though, did play yesterday, but they still deserve some recognition. So we are into our first jam. Wicked Butterfly out there taking on Barracuda from Denver, and Barracuda is our lead jammer. Barracuda jamming for Denver, out with the first 4 points of the game. Now Wicked Butterfly does break out. Barracuda now in for a second round of points. Barracuda is calling off the jam with an additional 4. So before we move into our next jam, we're going to make quick work of introductions for our teams. Let's talk about the Rockin City Rebels coming to us from Round Rock, Texas. We have number 1044, Riot Girl, 111, Annihilator, 113, KW Killa, number 12, Psychopaths, 1515, Amayageddon, number 16, Psych and Strike, number 18, Trainwreck, 21, Bonnie, 227, Wicked Butterfly, 26, Little Monster, 311, Beautiful Disaster. Now, some of these names are not here. I'm reading from a different roster here. 320, Sour Power, 39, Revolver, 51, Slamilton, 736, Ario, Bleedwagon, 865, Battle Aid, and 87, Tricks. Back to our game. We are in Jam 2 here. Rebels taking the lead with Tricks in control. Starface out to jam for Denver. Denver wearing the white uniforms. They're down one blocker in the box. Tricks is out with the first 4 points of the jam. Oh, Tricks coming in, crashing in, taking that tripod right up the middle, trying to break up that Denver wall. Now, Denver, if you remember, yesterday played Columbia, and they were down 14 points in the last seconds of the game, but did they have the advantage in their favor? It was a power start, and their jammer pulled off a 15-point jam, bringing them a 1-point win. So Denver proving to be a very strong team as well. We are now at a tied score, 8-8 for both sides of the scoreboard. Talk about Denver now. We have number 111 Slasher, 13 Beholder, 15 Brawly Pop, 31 Trick or Treat, 353 Beetle Kill, 365 Phoenix, 462 Barracuda, 515 Kit Kat, number 626 Stitch, 66 Poison Emmy, 73 Starface, 77 Autumn, and 89 Taco Cat. Those are our Denver skaters. Now we have Annihilator out there versus Brawly Pop, and Annihilator picking up lead for Rockin City Rebels. And we have a pile of shout-outs to get to here, but they are still open for at least a good part of the rest of the day. Annihilator with a 4-point jam for the Rebels, breaking the tie in favor of the Rockin City Rebels. And Annihilator completing a second scoring trip. No Gus, no glory. Watching Annihilator like a hawk and awarding those 4 points. So Annihilator now has a second scoring trip completed, now beginning their third. And a track cut is going to take Autumn off on a penalty. Autumn, the pivot for Denver, and there's an official review. We're going to get the details of that and come right back. Denver calling for an official review, just questioning some contact on one of their skaters, number 77, by the Rockin City Jammer. Whether or not that contact was to the back and whether or not that was forceful enough to warrant a penalty. Thank you. Officials could not verify the question, so there will be no call. They will have lost that review. We're going back to our jam. Going back to our game, I should say. Rebels 20, Denver 12 with 25:50 left to our first half. And on this, it's a power start in the hands of the Rockin City Rebels. Denver has a jammer and a pivot in the box. Out to jam. This appears to be Annihilator with the jammer star. And Annihilator is out. Listen to that crowd. Annihilator getting a lot of cheering here in our fan base. And a little bit of a graceful move there by Annihilator with that lead being declared. No gust, no glory, making that lead jammer hand signal. Denver's blockers timeout of the box. Annihilator is out with 4 points for the Rebels. Annihilator now in for a second scoring trip. And Annihilator is called on an illegal contact penalty. So Annihilator's going to have a seat in the box. And Denver with the advantage of a power jam with a 12-24 score. Brawley Pop number 15 with the jammer star and no chance for a call off. We're going to go for the full 2 minutes. Brawley Pop finds a hole on the inside lane up at the top of the pack. Here comes number 39 from Rockin City. This is Revolver trying to put the brakes on Brawley Pop. Brawley Pop is out with 4, closing up that point spread just a little bit. Annihilator coming out of the box from that illegal contact penalty, gets past their own blockers, now taking on a 3-wall of Denver skaters at the top of the pack. Brawley Pop, let's see, Brawley Pop is taken down at the bottom of the pack. All right, we called that jam off for a matter of safety, just to make sure our skaters can get back up and just catch a breather. It looks like there's going to be no further attention by our fabulous medics, Ellie and Evie. So, I mean, we love it when they're not needed. We love to have them here just as spectators who are just keeping an extra eye on our wonderful skaters, making sure that they are safe. We'll give a shout out here to Phoenix from Denver. Get low and play hard. We are proud of you. Love Dad and Bubba. That is for Phoenix from Denver. I'm sorry, Phoenix for Denver. Back to our jam, Slamilton versus Barracuda. 28-16, Rebels in the lead. Barracuda breaks out, picking up lead for the Denver Minor Turbulence. Slamilton stuck to the bottom of the pack. Look at that defense by Autumn at the back of the pack, putting a temporary slowdown on Slamilton. Slamilton breaks out of the pack, and Barracuda completing a 4-point pass. That jam called off, keeping that at 4-0 in favor of Denver, now down to an 8-point game. Shout out here to Stitch from Denver Minor Turbulence. Stay low and hold them. You are doing an amazing job. You are doing amazing, kid. That's from Grandma, Nell, and Bessie. Okay, Annihilator back out there taking on Starface. Look at that one-on-one blocking by the Denver pivot, just putting a slowdown on Starface. Now, these two jammers have shown some amazing jamming so far in the game. Starface making that lead, making that Denver victory yesterday. Annihilator proving to be a very effective jammer as well, as we saw just a few moments ago. So a very good matchup with an 8-point difference. This is going to be a very energetic game, I think. Annihilator taken out of bounds and forced back. Now Denver losing their pivot. I believe that was a clockwise block penalty. KW Killer coming back in from the box. So it's going to be a 3-4 pack here in favor of the Rockin City Rebels. Rebels pivot, bringing the Denver jammer Starface all the way to the back to restart this pass. No lead jammer yet. It is still open. Nice offense at the top of the pack by 113 KW Killer, clearing out a hole for Annihilator to come out and pick up lead for the Rebels. Our pack still frozen on the apex. Here comes Annihilator in to score some points. Denver taking Annihilator down out of bounds on turn 4. That initiator did go out of bounds, but there were other blockers with superior position, so Annihilator is going to have a seat in the box for that track cut. Always have to be aware when you're taken out that it's not only the initiator you have to come in behind, it's also other skaters who were ahead of you at that time. A very difficult thing to keep track of, even when you're jam reffing. So still an 8-point game amidst this jam. And number 73, that is from Denver. Starface comes out with 4 points, and that jam is over. While he is right in front of me, this is a shout out to Lone Bone of our officiating staff. From the fans, we appreciate the refs, but a skating High Lord Warrior in a spear in a sport kilt is extra incredible. So that's to our very own Lone Bone, long season referee here in the Central Pennsylvania region. Very grateful to have Lone Bone here with us this weekend. 3-4 pack and going in this jam. Oh, I'm sorry, 2-4 pack, I believe, in favor of Denver on this jam start. Annihilator was actually one of those two in the box. So Annihilator started in the box, came out. Now, right now, Denver picking up lead with Barracuda in control. So Barracuda coming out with the initial pass, now starting a first scoring trip. Now here comes Annihilator. Barracuda calls off the jam, and let's see if that's going to be a sacrifice. That's nothing there, both sides. Barracuda realizing Annihilator coming up behind with only about 7 points separating these teams. That jam is called off. Shout out here to, I believe this is from Sour Power, from Reveille James. Sorry, this is very difficult to read. Reveille James. You have the power, use it and be sour. That is for Sour Power. Revolver out the jam for the Rebels, and Revolver is lead. Trick or Treat working some defense at the top of the pack, but Revolver is out with 4 points for the Rebels. And Revolver takes a toe stop out of bounds, comes in front of a blocker, so that's a track cut. Gonna put Revolver in the gun case, having a trip here in the box. So going to be a 2-minute jam. Now Denver on an 11-point fall behind here does have a power jam. Phoenix, according to the scoreboard, Phoenix is our jammer, not lead, but now the active jammer, as we could say, for the next 30 seconds. Okay, 4 points on the board for Denver. Back to a 7-point game. Power Jam still in favor of Denver right now. Revolver coming out of the box after that track cut a moment ago. Bolt Jammer's back in. Phoenix taken down on the outside by Trix and is being dragged to the back. Poison Emmy stepping in there for some defense on the outside lane, along with number 31, Trick or Treat, bringing Revolver to the inside and taking Revolver out of bounds. One last block there by Autumn, taking Revolver out. Revolver gets back in, not giving it up. So Revolver coming in from that track cut, making quick work, well, making hard work, I should say, of that scoring pass, is out with 4. 2 minutes is going to end the jam. So 39-28, Rebels in the lead, 17 minutes left to our first half. We have a shout out here to the Rebels. This is from Jessica. All right, all right, all right. Now to a 9-point game, Wicked Butterfly versus Starface. And Rebels picking up lead here once again. Wicked Butterfly is our lead jammer. Rebels losing Annihilator to the penalty box. So Rebels are going to be down a blocker here momentarily. Starface out of the pack. Wicked Butterfly called off on a track cut. It's going to be one of these games where it's going to be close and it's going to come down to either jammer penalties or jammer skill, very much like yesterday's game 1 where it was Denver versus Columbia. So Denver now has the advantage of a power jam in their favor with Starface currently jamming unopposed, and Starface has 1 point or 1 scoring pass down, now working on a second scoring trip. This is the time for Rockin City to work the defense. Look at that very solid blocking by the pivot, but a stop block called on Trix. Looks like Trix was sort of planted in that position, maintaining that stop position. We know that that's not okay by our rule set. So Wicked Butterfly times out of the box. Nice rollback by Autumn from Denver, forcing Wicked Butterfly back to the back. Now Autumn takes the spill. Starface out with another 4. No chance for a call off. We've got 10 long seconds left to our jam. Well, no chance for a call off. Beautiful apex jump by Wicked Butterfly. Very appropriate name for somebody who can jump the apex in such a manner. Going for a timeout by our officials here with a 12-10 jam in favor of Rockin City Rebels, coming to us from Round Rock, Texas, all the way to Philadelphia. Score now in this timeout, Rebels 51, Denver 40. Shout out to Slamilton from the Rebels, from Mom, Don't Screw Up. That is from Slamilton, from Mom, Don't Screw Up. Down in the second half of our first half of the game. 11 points separating these teams. Rebels 51, Denver 40. Timeout coming to an end. Hope everybody is buckled down in their seats because we've got another 45 minutes of this game. And I think, speaking of turbulence, I think we are going to have some turbulence right here at the Northeast Racket Club in Philadelphia, with these two teams have their skaters giving it all they got. Barracuda versus Sour Power, and Barracuda picking up lead for Denver. Barracuda taking the advice of the bench coach and calling off the jam. There are some points picked up there. Sorry, referees are throwing up smash catch. I'm throwing up 2 points here, and no points indicated by no Gus, no Gus. So 3-0 jam here in favor of Denver. They're at 43. Rockin City Rebels 51. Two teams traveling a very good distance to be here at the Battle of the B-Sides. Tricks out to jam, gets to the top of the pack, gets some one-on-one blocking by number 89, Taco Cat, and Tricks is out with a Rockin City Rebels lead. Autumn having a seat in the box. Phoenix out the jam for Denver. Tricks has a 4-point jam, not to be outdone. Phoenix also with 4 points, and Tricks goes for the call-off. So that jam puts 4 points up on both sides of the board. Nothing really gained, so it's going to be a net 0 for each team. 55-47, 13 minutes left to our first half. Shout out here for Slamilton from the Rebels, from Mom. Pin your ears back and skate your wheels off. Lollipop and Slamilton, we would prefer Slamilton keep all of their wheels on their skates for these jams. Not only a matter of convenience, but a matter of safety as well. 7 wheels just doesn't cut it when you're a jammer. Slamilton, though, gets the luck of the shutout. Slamilton is lead jammer. Star pass over to Autumn. Slamilton is out with 4 points and calls off the action. So 4-0 in favor of the Rebels. Now we're going to see Annihilator out there for the Rebels. And let's see what's going to... Okay, this is Starface jamming for Denver. 3-4 pack. Rebels with this pack advantage. Oh, there's a jammer-on-jammer tumble there. Annihilator recovers, but gets taken on a bounce by Beholder from Denver. Nice defense there by Beholder. Our jammer still fighting through. Annihilator, gets to on the inside, but is going to recycle to the back. So lead jammer still open. Rockin City Rebels have a very solid tripod at the top of the pack against Starface. Annihilator gets up to the top. Nice reforming of the defense there by Denver. Swarming 3 blockers at Annihilator, but Annihilator does pick up lead for Rockin City. Seeing 2 points there roll in for, 3 points rolling in by the Rebels. They're at 62. Denver with a scoreless jam, 47. Ten and a half minutes left to our first half. Tricks out there, and Barracuda jamming for Denver. Wow. Rebels taking a spill right there on the jam start whistle. Barracuda pushing to the top. Nice defense by the Rebels, swarming Barracuda while Tricks gets out with a Rockin City lead. Now Barracuda gets some one-on-one blocking by Battle Aid. Tricks is in for some points. gets up to the top of the pack, gets past 31 Trick or Treat, and calls off the jam. So a quick 4-0 there by Rockin City. Down to just under a 20-point game with under 10 minutes left to our first half. Rockin City putting out Sour Power. Shout out here to Rockin City Rebels from Jessica, skate like you mean it. And they are certainly doing that. We are seeing a lot of real good derby here in this game. A timeout called by the Denver bench. Philly Juniors would like to send a huge thank you to the staff here at Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center. We love skating at the NARC, the official home of the Philly Juniors. We appreciate everything that the NARC does and appreciate the wonderful staff here to accommodate our needs throughout the season. As you know, we host Philly Fest every year here at the NARC. Then a few months later in May, we host Hoagie Roll, part of the tradition here for Philly Juniors and Philly as a whole. And we have had a couple Northeast Regional playoffs hosted here as well. So a lot of Junior Derby compliments of NARC. We could not do it without them. So big thank you to the staff for allowing us to make this possible for all of our junior skaters from across the country and across the world, if you want to have the bigger picture here, because we have had some international skaters. We have Burpee here from Denmark, and we have hosted some other skaters as well. So we're coming out of that team timeout with 9:30 left on the period clock for first half. Rebels up 66 after a 4-point jam. Denver at 47. Now Sour Power out there versus Phoenix. Phoenix takes advantage of the inside lane, gets through with a Denver lead. Much needed advantage here for Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix has 2 lanes open on the inside, coming around the turn, gets out with those 4 points and signals the call off. So a nice 4-0 run there by Phoenix, bringing Denver to 51, Rebels 66. Here's to Slamilton, our next shout out from Rockin City. You are the slammiest. We are inventing words here. Not only are we making legendary derby happen, we are inventing words. We're doing great things here at the Philly Juniors program. Annihilator back out there taking on Brawly Pop in a penalty box is empty. So both teams with some 5-on-5 derby. Annihilator is out and is our lead jammer. Denver walling up, closing in that wall, trying to contain Annihilator, but Annihilator is just too quick on skates. Annihilator is out with those 4 points. A star pass completed to Trick or Treat. Rockin City sending a 2-wall, now make that a 3-wall. Attempted block by Battle Aid. Trick or Treat does get out, completing the initial pass on that star pass, but does not score any points. 4-0 there in favor of the Rebels. Now they're going up to 70, Denver 51. Looks like there's a bit of a fist bump there for our jammers. Next jam will be, once again, some 5-on-5. Slamilton with another shot out here. I am running. Barracuda out the gym for Denver, and Slamilton jamming for Rockin City Rebels. And it's a Denver lead now. Barracuda is in control. Slamilton taken out and rolled back by Autumn, number 77. Now Denver throwing their defensive power at the back of the pack, and Slamilton taken out of bounds and forced back behind number 89, Taco Cat. 4 points there by Barracuda, bringing Denver to 55. And a track cut called on Slamilton. We know what this is going to do to the score. And we still have a whole other half plus 6.5 minutes left to our game. So Barracuda now on a power jam. 4 more points, bringing them to 63. Here comes Barracuda now on a second run, still on this power jam. Barracuda comes in. Rockin City has their entire defensive power. Our pack goes in the runaway mode, getting ahead of Barracuda. Barracuda breaks out with 4 more points. Slamilton comes back in from that earlier track cut. Autumn catching Slamilton and doing some blocking along with their pivot from Denver. That's number, I believe that's number 13, Beholder. Slamilton taken out of bounds and just kept at the bottom of the pack. Barracuda with the chance of a lead change with just seconds to go. If Barracuda gets a 4-point pass, it is a lead change in the hands of the, there it is, 71 points. We have a lead change by Barracuda. And that jam times out. We can call how this game is gonna be already. We are minutes left to our first half. We're gonna have a 15-minute break where our blood pressure can go back to normal. And we got another half hour of what we're currently seeing. And where else to have that but right here at Battle of the B-Sides, hosted by Philly Juniors. So for those here in the building and those following the live feed, you are watching some legendary junior derby here, right now. Trix is out taking on Phoenix. And Trix is up at the top of the pack, but is meeting Denver's defense. Trix tries to juke to the outside, now move to the inside, but is taken down by the pivot. 31, Trick or Treat. Unfortunately, the pack splits up, and that's gonna work out in Trix's favor, but Trix is taken out of bounds and is forced to recycle, so lead jammer is still open. Defense tightening up here on both sides. Phoenix gets ahead, gets taken down by the pivot. That's Annihilator. Annihilator proving to be a triple threat, pivot blocker, jammer. Annihilator taking Phoenix to the back and forcing Phoenix to restart. So far, this jam is leadless and scoreless. Both jammers are brought to the bottom of the pack and have to restart these initial passes. Annihilator being lost to the box, so Rebels losing a key blocker and the pivot. Both jammers still in play. Oh, and Phoenix jukes to the inside, getting lead for Denver. Where those 4 points come from?
Oh, the merch table. They're at the, yeah.
Four points picked up on that jam, bringing Denver, strengthening that lead change they had by Barracuda just a jam or two ago. Okay, their correction to the score, 73-70. Denver still with a 3-point lead as we close down the moments to halftime. Annihilator still in the box, so 3-4 here in favor of Denver. Denver has, let's see, Brawly Pop out there versus Revolver. 2 blockers now make that 3 blockers swarming Brawly Pop. Brawly Pop taken out by Annihilator, who's gonna get a second trip to the box and a track cut, and Brawly Pop picking up lead for Denver. Revolver breaks out. We are seeing some updates to our scoreboard here. Oh, and a back block called on Brawly Pop. Going to put Denver's jammer in the box while Denver is currently up 4 points. So, in an unforeseen series of events, Revolver called off on a penalty as well. So both jammers will serve their abbreviated, or their penalties. Abbreviated penalty here for Revolver, I believe. There will be no lead jammer. 54 more seconds of this very action-packed jam. The jam-packed derby, I should say. Lone Bone taking a spill there on the straightaway. It is a fight to the end for this jam. No way to call this action off. It's gonna have to play out. Brawly Pop with 4 more points up. The first 4 points up. That's going to bring. There were some corrections to the scoreboard in the lineup, and then the first seconds of this jam. So it is now an 8-point difference. Denver with that lead change by Barracuda, but now Brawley Pop putting 4 more, making this a 78-point score for Denver. 13 seconds left to this jam. Brawley Pop is out with another scoring trip, has an 8-point jam. Rebels remaining scoreless so far, with Revolver coming in and getting some blocking by Autumn on the inside lane, and we time out at 2 minutes. Looks like there will be 2 points going up for the Rebels. Okay, 3 points and an 8-point run by Denver. 9-point game now in favor of Denver with 40 seconds left to our first period. So we're going to squeeze one last jam out of this first half of the game. We can take a 15-minute break so our blood pressure can go back down, and then experience the epic second half that this game promises to be. Starface jamming for Denver and trying to get a visual here on this Rockin City Jammer 227. This is Wicked Butterfly, and Wicked Butterfly called off on a track cut, jamming for the Rockin City Rebels. The last thing Rockin City needs right now is to have their jammer down in the box. So Starface completing a star pass. There's Annihilator once again with that triple threat action, taking 31 Trick or Treat out of bounds after that star pass. So due to the jammer penalty for the Rebels and the star pass for Denver, we're going to go for 2 minutes on this jam. With 1:10 left to go, Tricks taking Trick or Treat out of bounds to the inside. Wicked Butterfly finishes their time in the box and completes their initial pass, but no points have yet been scored. Now, Wicked Butterfly, with that initial pass down, is able to score points. Denver stopping Wicked Butterfly in their tracks. Compliments of Autumn and number 626 Stitch. Wicked Butterfly with 4 points. 5-point game. 35 seconds left to our last jam of the first period. Initial pass completed by Trick or Treat after that star pass. And 4 points by Wicked Butterfly, bringing us to a 1-point game with 20 seconds left to the jam. Oh, Wicked Butterfly taken out of bounds on the outside. Annihilator goes for a block. That block is finished off by Battle-Aid. Brawley Pop stays in bounds by that Annihilator block, but goes out of bounds by Battle-Aid. Trick or Treat comes back in, puts 4 points up just in the last seconds. 12-4 jam in favor of the Rebels. It is a 1-point game, 85-86. I feel like we have seen this before, maybe in the past day. And that score going in the halftime might be the exact same score that was pulled off by Denver, I believe, yesterday morning. But hey, let's not speculate. We've got a halftime that we all are going to probably welcome, because we have an action-packed roller coaster of a second half here for this game. Once again, Rockin City Rebels from Round Rock, Texas, taking on Denver Minor Turbulence. We will talk to you soon. Balloons were getting in the way, so I had to bend it down a little bit.
We just angle it up then.
There we go. Yeah, we can move this up. There, that's an idea. We didn't think of that. We always have. That's why it takes multiple people to run a game. Sometimes we just a pooling of ideas. We are coming out of our halftime, and what a first half this was. I'd say in my unofficial recollection of the first half, it was probably a 20-point spread. Now the lead change is in the hands of Denver by one single point. We saw Barracuda kind of bring Denver back to the scoreboard. We have another half hour of this insane roller coaster of a game by Rockin City Rebels from Round Rock, Texas, and Denver Minor Turbulence. And for the kickoff, we hope to be an annual event here at Philly. This is the Battle of the B-Sides. To kick this off and make this a milepost in B-team tournaments, I don't think we could have asked for a better mix of teams to be here this weekend. Our first game of the tournament, as you know, was Denver versus Columbia with a 1-point win by Denver as well, pulled off in the last literally 7 seconds of that jam. But hey, hold on to your seats. Hopefully you got your popcorn and your refreshments, because we're going to have a whole other half hour of this neck-to-neck game going into this first half. It's from 5-on-5. Out to jam. I believe this is for Rockin City. Wicked Butterfly 227 and Barracuda out there with the star for Denver. Rebels picking up lead. Wicked Butterfly in control. Oh, look at that apex jump by Wicked Butterfly, but Wicked Butterfly is taken down. The jam was called off by the jammer and not the officials. Looks like there might have been some contact that's going to grab the attention of our refs, but not quite sure what that's going to be just yet. It might just be nothing. And doesn't look like, okay, it's a 3-0 jam to the Rebels. That's going to put them back in the lead, albeit by 2 mere points. Now going to our second jam, Tricks versus Scarface. Once again, more 5-on-5 action. Star pass from Tricks, I'm sorry, from Barracuda, I believe, to Autumn. Tricks is our lead jammer. 4 more points there by the Rebels. It's going to get fast and intense. 6-point difference now back in the hands of the Rebels with their lead. There's some love on the jammer line, a jammer high five to show that, hey, we are still friends no matter what happens in the next 2 minutes. That is Wicked Butterfly versus Phoenix. I can imagine both of those jammers probably have ice water going through their veins. I certainly have in mine. No matter the outcome of this game, we are seeing some amazing talent here by Round Rock and Denver. Wicked Butterfly is out first. We know what that means. That means we're going to hear 2 whistles, and lead jammer is called for Wicked Butterfly. Revolver with a rollback here on Phoenix. So Phoenix is going to recycle the bottom of the pack. +4 for the Rebels, compliments of Wicked Butterfly. Strengthening their lead change just a jam or two ago. I need to get my cough drops because I have a feeling I'm going to lose my voice here in the next 26 minutes and 40 seconds. Wicked butterfly busting out. Another 4 points, making this an 8-point jam. Rebels now at 102, Denver 86. Shout out here to Slamilton from Rockin City Rebels. Rev up the Regatti. Oh, okay, I missed the British accent. I might have to get, we're gonna hold this and redo this, hopefully get the dollar that you are entitled to. We're gonna put that back in the pile here. Okay, we're back to our game. Slamilton versus Barracuda, and Barracuda is our lead jammer. So Denver in control of the jam right now. Big hole on the inside, 2 lanes of the track coming around the turn. Barracuda with 4 quick points and calls it off, so down to a 12-point difference. Denver now a nice round, 90 points. Rebels scoreless at 102. Okay. Rockin City showing their love from the stands as they are currently sitting on a 12-point lead over Denver. Denver losing a blocker to the box. Annihilator, our triple threat skater from the Rockin City, is out with lead jammer. Starface has the star here for the Denver Minor Turbulence. For 8-0 there by the Rebels, 110, Denver 90. Rockin City will start with 1 blocker in the box, so Denver with the pack advantage. Denver lining up with a tripod and a 4th blocker on the pivot line. We are off to the races. 3-6-5, Phoenix out to jam, gets a little bit of a block there. Let's see, that is Battle Aid, but lead going to Denver now. Phoenix in control. Nice offense by 89 Taco Cat, clearing out a hole for Phoenix. Phoenix gets through with 4 points. Tricks jamming for the Rebels, getting stuck at the bottom of the pack behind that Denver wall. Oh, and Taco Cat is going to have a trip to the box. So Denver losing a crucial part of their defense, but they are keeping Tricks locked in the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Phoenix also meeting a strong wall of Rebels blockers. Denver losing Autumn to the box as well. So Denver now with that impairment, having 2 blockers down. Tricks is out with 4 points. Phoenix still lead jammer, breaks out with another 4 and calls off. So the jam is over. It's going to be a net 4 for Denver on that. 8-4. They're at 98. Rebels 114. Hey, shout out here for Coach Sid from Rockin City Rebels. This is from Jessica. Nice hat to Coach Sid. 462, Barracuda out to jam for Denver. Now Barracuda responsible for their lead change in the first half. Barracuda coming around on the outside lane has 4 points for Denver. Wicked Butterfly crashing in the bottom of the pack. Revolver trying to work some defense as the pivot for Rockin City Rebels. Barracuda now in for another round of points, thirsty for more. Wicked Butterfly with 4 points for the Rebels. And there's a penalty whistle. Let's see who we are going to lose. Okay, a blocker from Denver having a trip to the box. Denver now breaking that 100-point mark, so 8-4. Another net 4 for Denver. 106, 118, Denver catching it up again. Denver's jammer getting some love from their teammate, some last-minute encouragement. This is number 73, Starface with the star, and Sour Power out the jam for the Rebels. Starface, rides the last inch of the inside track barrier, stays in bounds, and has another lead here for Denver. Sour Power gets through on the inside, completing that initial pass. Fluid defense there by Rockin City, tries to escort Starface out of bounds, but Starface has 4 points on that pass, and that jam is called off just as Autumn steps in to absorb that momentum there. Look at that jammer high five there. Yes, it is all love at the end of the day, 4-0 for Denver. So now down to 8 points. Triple threat annihilator out there taking on Phoenix. Two very strong jammers. Timeout being called by, let's see if that's a timeout or a team timeout, I believe. Either way, we'll give a shout out here to the Rebels. From Jessica, the stars at night are big and bright. We recognize that phrase. We recognize that phrase. Thank you for that shout out. We have a stack of them here. Reminder, if you are on skates, you must be in full gear. And for your safety and the safety of our spectators, skates are not to be worn on the bleachers. We appreciate your cooperation in that. Safety is our utmost importance here. We are in the midst of a team timeout called by Rockin City Rebels. Another shout out in here. Let's get another shout out in there. There's a stack of them to go through, and we cannot give enough love for everybody who is making these shout outs possible. Those dollars add up, and they directly benefit our hosting team. This is Philly Juniors. Next one, well, let's get our next jam underway here. We'll save this shout out for the next lineup. With an 8-point difference and a 3-4 pack here, we have Wicked Butterfly lining up against Phoenix on the jammer line. Phoenix taking a step out of bounds and recycled to the back. Nice elevator door move there by Denver. Two Denver blockers at the top of the pack. Oh, and 31 Trick or Treat with a block, taking Wicked Butterfly out of bounds. So Wicked Butterfly comes back in, kind of sacrificing lead, getting that incomplete initial pass, but Wicked Butterfly, although not lead, is on a scoring pass. Denver walling up, keeping Wicked Butterfly stuck. Denver pivot, taking Butterfly out, or attempting to, and then going to the box. So lead is still actually open now for Phoenix. Phoenix not getting any mercy from the Rebels blockers. All four of those blockers just solidly keeping Phoenix stuck at the bottom of the pack. Lead jammer called after a hard-fought initial pass going to Phoenix. And a star pass complete to Revolver. Looks like this may be an incomplete star pass. So there was a star pass attempted to Revolver, but for whatever reason, that star pass was not complete, so Revolver was a blocker when they went out of play. and did not comply with that out-of-play call by Guinness. So that's going to be not only the out-of-play, but the insubordination. Not a good place for the Rebels right now, because having that blocker in the box. Rebels did have their jammer continue to be on the track. 2-4 jam, net 2 for Denver. 114 Rebels with that 6-point win, 120. 17:40 left to our game, so nowhere near the end of this just yet. Timeout called by our official. Let's give some love here to Amaya Gettin from Rockin City. This is from Mom and Dad. Harness the Chicken Hawk. Now we need to know from Amaya Gettin what the Chicken Hawk is. You can't talk about it here without showing us, or at least some kind of explanation. Just a reminder, if you have not yet already, make sure you follow Philly Roller Derby Juniors on all of these social media outlets. We are very active. Likely this is going to be our last home event until February, when we, I believe, start talking about Philly Fest in February. However, Philly, as we know, is headed to championships here in just 2 weeks in Loveland, Colorado. And following that, we have a number of our very own Philly skaters on their way to World Cup in Australia. So Philly doing some really good things here for the JRDA scene, as always. Let's give a shout out here to Trix from Rockin City Rebels. This is from Mom Banshee. Stay low, stay strong. Do your thing, Rockin City. So Rockin City getting a lot of love here, both from their fans in the crowd and the dollar shout outs. I don't think across Philly Fest, Hoagie Roll, and even when they had playoffs here, we did not have this many shout-outs in one event. They are literally stacking up. We are out of that timeout, back to our jam. We have Trix versus Barracuda, 3-4 pack in favor of Denver. Trix is out with lead jammer, but we are jammer on jammer. Barracuda overtaking Trix, gets in, comes to the outside, but is taken down. There's a track cut on Trix. Not the time for jammer penalties. This is the most crucial time of the game. Now Barracuda, who I believe brought Denver to the lead in the second half, is now on a power jam for Denver. So Barracuda now in to score some points. Slamilton getting in Barracuda's way. Barracuda is out with 4. Lead change now by 2 points in the hands of Denver. Now that I look at Barracuda, I can confirm Barracuda brought that lead change in the first half of the game into Denver's favor and did it once again right here in the second half. So now Barracuda with 8 points, now working on a third scoring trip. Revolver taking Barracuda out of bounds to the inside. Trix re-entering from that track cut, fighting with all 3 Denver blockers. Trix taken out of bounds on the inside, but that initiator also spills to the inside as well. Denver throwing a tripod at Trix at the bottom of the pack. Barracuda's out with another 4. Appears to be running out the jam clock now with a 12-point run, and so far Rebels have been scoreless. Barracuda in once again. Rockin City walling up with their entire defensive power. Just seconds left to our jam. Revolver meeting that tripod of Denver blockers at the bottom of the pack. Rebels not scoreless. They do put 3 points up, but it's a 16-point jam by Denver. They're at 130, 7 points ahead of Rockin City Rebels, 123, 15 minutes of this to go. We will be taking a break after this game so our blood pressure and heart rate can return to normal. We are again back to some derby, 5-on-5. Autumn out there. I believe this might be Autumn's first time starting as a jammer versus Sour Power. Autumn getting some blocking by Rockin City at the bottom of the pack. That 111 Annihilator just proving to be effective in every position. Autumn is out though for Denver. Denver's defense just containing Star Power. But Star Power does get out ahead. Autumn in for some points. Rockin City's defense just throwing a solid wall at Autumn. Autumn working and calls off the jam mid-scoring pass. Let's see what our referees are saying. Rebels are going to be scoreless, and a +2 for Denver. 123, 132. I do not know if my WFTDA skater insurance covers heart conditions from games of this intensity. I assume that it doesn't. KW Killa now out for the Rebels. Denver with Starface. A single whistle is a penalty call. There has not yet been lead jammer. That is a track cut penalty called on KW Killa. Starface coming out from the box, and I admit I didn't catch if Starface got the penalty in the last jam that carried over, or if it's in this jam and they are no longer eligible for lead. We'll see what happens when these initial passes are completed. We know that KW Killa cannot get lead because of that track cut, and it looks like KW Killa didn't really sit for a full 30 seconds, so I'm going to guess that both jammers have gone to the box in this jam, which we know will be a forfeited lead. Battle Aid, nice fluid recycling to the top of that pack, bracing a tripod. Oh, 31 from Denver, Trick or Treat with a block on KW Killa, taking KW out of bounds to the outside. Look at that one-on-one blocking by Trick or Treat, just containing KW. Now KW taken out of bounds to the inside. 38 seconds to go, and neither of these jammers has broken out and completed their initial pass yet. So this is when these games really begin to ramp up. These teams matching up in defense right now. And Starface not lead, we can guess, we can assume because of a penalty called early in this jam. Both jam refs are signaling not lead jammer. 11 seconds to go, but these jammers now are on scoring passes. Four whistles blow. Smash catch them holding up 4 fingers for Rockin City Rebels. Looking like, as of right now, Denver may have been scoreless. 127, 135. Denver with this lead. Let's give a shout out here to KW Killa, who just jammed. This is from Uncle Mike. Get low and knock the snot out of them. Thank you for your support, Uncle Mike. One whistle starts the jam. Tricks out there versus Phoenix. 2 very effective jammers. There is a penalty whistle blown. No, both jammers are out. Lead jammer going to Tricks, but Tricks is overtaken by Phoenix. Phoenix goes for an apex jump, but it fails. Phoenix landing out of bounds. Okay, looks like that initiator may have been 111 Annihilator once again. I think for tournament MVPs, Annihilator definitely in the running for one of those. Four points. No, there it is. Tied score, folks. 135 on both sides by Tricks, who brought Rebels out of that hole. 10 minutes to go, and our teams are resetting to a tied score. Rebels now taking the lead. Tricks with another 4 points, getting 4 points ahead of that tie. Tricks is still lead. Appears to currently be deciding whether or not they should run the jam or make that risk to call it off. Phoenix breaks out of the pack with 4 points, and that jam is over. Timeout called by our officials. 3-point game. Rockin City Rebels 142, Denver 139. Just under 10 minutes to go. Shout out here to KW Killa from Tori the Terrible. You will do amazing. We love you. Thank you, Tori, for that. Wow, we're going to start doubling up these shout-outs because there are a lot of them here. We're going to do one more here. This is for Revolver of the Rockin City Rebels. This from Mom, Dad, and Sis. We are so proud of you. Way to show up and lead your team. Captain Revolver. Thank you, Mom, Dad, and Sis, for supporting Revolver. Of course, we just saw Revolver out to jam just a few moments ago, and quite a few times in the game here. As we mentioned, Philly Juniors is headed to championships in 2 weeks in Loveland, Colorado, along with a number of other teams that we know and love so much who have shown some amazing derby. So I know that there will be a live feed from the JRDA for that championships. And as a side note, every year there seem to be some spoof JRDA social media pages that pop up. Make sure that if you are looking to catch the live feed for the championships, you only follow the JRDA's native, their actual channel. Sometimes there'll be friend requests from the World Cup or JRDA. They do not send out friend requests. They are a organization page. So for your live feed, just making sure that you are not conned into paying a fee. There will never be a fee to watch the live feed for, as I know, a JRDA event. I don't know if I can speak on their behalf, but as of my years with them, there's never been a fee to watch a live feed. So make sure that you are on their page to watch championships, because it's going to be some amazing gameplay. I saw those teams play, and it's going to be an amazing time. We are back to our game. 3 points separating our teams. We got Barracuda taking on Wicked Butterfly. Barracuda is out. Now, we saw Barracuda in 2 separate jams bring Denver back into the lead when they were down by some points. Barracuda now is lead jammer and in control. Barracuda taking on that tripod right up the middle of Rockin City blockers, and Barracuda is out. We are jammer on jammer. Barracuda gets ahead now of Wicked Butterfly with 4 points. Barracuda calls off the jam, keeping that down to just under a minute, and a +4 for Denver now, bringing Denver ahead by 1 point. We knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen an hour ago. We knew how this game was going to go. We forecasted this. 1 point now separating these teams. Denver 143, Rebels 142, 9 minutes left. And Trix picking up lead jammer for the Rebels. Rebels containing Starface right now. Yeah, Starface, though, gets ahead of that and is out. So Trix now in to score some points. Trix with 4 points, calls it off. Hard to keep track of. We're going to try our best to narrate this game as best as we can. That's going to give 4 points to Rebels, bringing them back in the lead by 3. 146 now, 143. Shout out here to Battle Aid from Rockin City Rebels. From your roommates, your mom still cuts your steak. How can Battle Aid be such an awesome blocker? I think Battle Aid can cut their own steak moving forward. Lots of shout outs. Phoenix is out with lead. Jammer for Denver. Wicked Butterfly with the star for the Rebels. Apex, well, not even really an apex jump, a straightaway jump, thwarted by Autumn. Oh, these points, each individual point here is going to make a difference. 2-4, net 2 for Denver. So it's a 1 point game. 148 Rebels, Denver 147. We see it again. Barracuda back out the jam. Shout out here to Annihilator from Mom. Annihilate them. Annihilator has been doing just that. Okay, back to our jam. Barracuda versus KW Killa. KW Killa is called off on a track cut. There's Barracuda in the lead. You look at that smile on Barracuda's face. You can see it, you can feel it. Realizing Barracuda now on a power jam, Barracuda with a smile, a show of confidence. Barracuda coming out with 4 points, putting Denver back in the lead. No guts, no glory as Barracuda's jam ref. Still on a power jam. Barracuda making this an 8-point run, bringing Denver to 155. We don't normally talk about points amidst the jams, but for as close it is, it makes a difference. 7-point game now. Still a minute left to this jam. Barracuda on a third scoring trip. Rockin City down a blocker. Or no, that's their jammer. Okay, no, they'd have their jammer on the track. No, their jammer might be standing in the box. Okay, well, it doesn't matter right now. Barracuda has a 12-point run. This is Barracuda's third take back. I believe Barracuda's third time bringing Denver back in the lead. Barracuda now with a 16-point run. Now on the fifth scoring trip, this might be the highest scoring jam of the game. 20 points by Barracuda after 3 comebacks for Denver. 5 minutes to go. Denver now just about a 20-point lead. Right? We're not using any words just yet that might end the outcome of the game, because we've been seeing a lot of things that can affect how the game goes. It is still on the table. However, a 22-point jam by Barracuda over a scoreless jam by Rebels. So Denver now 169, Rebels 148, 4:36 to go. Timeout by our official. Let's get some of these shoutouts called. There are still at least a dozen of these to go, and very little time to call them. Next one's for Second Strike of the Rockin City Rebels from Grandmama. Way to go, Psycho Strike. You rock. Love Grandmama. Let's give one here to REO Bleedwagon from the Rebels. This is from Mom and Dad. We are so proud of you. Continue to kick butt and have fun. Let's do one more. Let's knock 3. This one's going to wait till the end. Let's move now to Annihilator. We've seen an Annihilator prove to be an effective pivot blocker and jammer. This is from Spider. You got this. Love your foul out buddy, Spider. Please no foul outs. This is not the time to do this. Back to our game. 170 for Denver. Rebels 148. Starface, number 73, picking up lead for Denver. Minor turbulence. A high block called on somebody. Let's see what the outcome of that is. That's going to Autumn. Autumn, the pivot for Denver, taking a seat for a high block. Starface with 4 points. Lead jammer for Denver. Wicked Butterfly taken down on the inside lane. Number 13, Beholder with that defense. And Wicked Butterfly does get through on the inside lane. Starface on a second scoring trip gets a tumble there coming out of the pack and recovers. There's a signal there for a clockwise block. And it's an 8-point run for Denver, so they're at 170. It's a 30-point game when just 3 minutes ago we were tied. Obviously that 22-point jam by Barracuda had something to do with that. 3:06 left to our game now. Each team has skaters in the box right now, but both jammers are on the line to a 4-on-4 jam. Phoenix versus Hamilton. Phoenix pushing that wall of Rebels blockers up to the pack, and that pack splits up. So Phoenix is out with lead jammer for Denver. So far, we are scoreless in this jam. Phoenix is our lead jammer. Now Phoenix coming out with 4 points. Slamilton jamming for Rebels. Phoenix in for a second scoring trip, and Phoenix calls off the jam. Looks like another 3 points going up, making this a 7-0 jam for Denver. Let's give a shout out here to everyone on all teams. This is from Livid, number 909 with the Brawl Stars. Thank you for an amazing weekend of derby, friendship, and fun. Let's squeeze one more shout out in. This is for Coach you know what? We're going to hang on to this one. Let's hang on to this one. Okay, so some of these are, okay, thank you. We're gonna sort through. Some of these are for later on games. We've got one more shout out here that we're gonna give to Rockin City, but we're down in what could be the final jam of the game. Minute 5 on the period clock. Barracuda out to jam. Repeating Barracuda's success in the game, Barracuda bringing Denver back 3 times. The last time with a 22-point jam. Barracuda now in control, but is getting stopped behind Rockin City Rebels defense. Looks like Barracuda does find a hole through the wall and works to get up at the top of the pack. And Barracuda's out with another round of 4 points. Barracuda now in for a second scoring trip. Rebels have 3 blockers trying to put a slowdown on Barracuda. 15 seconds left to our period. So when that period clock expires, there will be no chance for buying another jam out of the game. Star pass over to Wicked Butterfly. Seconds to go. So this jam, okay, period clock is out. So when this jam is over, as is right now, is the end of the game. Before we go too far, I have one last shout out for a skater here. This is for Slamilton from Rockin City Rebels. Rev up the Rugatti. Okay, this is the one that I messed up the first time. Rev up the Rugatti. I can't do a British accent. I apologize. So that is that shout out. I got all those done in just the nick of time. We're waiting for the official score. Looks like Smash Ketchum has confirmed at least that side of the scoreboard. We're waiting for No Gus, No Glory to confirm that side of the scoreboard. And once that's done and you hear that rolling whistle, we have a final score. We're gonna do our high five and move on. There it is, final score. Rebels 148, Denver 196, but not without a fight by both teams.